All right, part three. So, what does all this mean that we've been talking about? Some of the history and the differences, and how it's compared to the 1860 election, and how nothing really has changed. How the Democrats have attempted and successfully done, at least metaphorically or figuratively, kept blacks on their plantation by conning them and lying to them. Donald Trump can easily say that no president has undergone what he has undergone from the opposite party and from all uh, of the megaphones, from all the areas of the left in the country, and it's for as long and sustained for as long as he has. Reagan went through it, the Bushes went through it, but they got breaks. Every now and then someone might say, he did right, or that was correct, or yes, I agree with him, or they would throw him an olive branch, or they throw him a crumb, they throw him a dog biscuit, they throw these presidents on there, some kind of, okay, all right, you good, but we don't like this and we don't like the. Trump has dealt with this more than any of them, because it's not only started before he was president, it's never stopped since. Non-stop. No one on the left has ever, and I would literally dare anybody, I would task anybody with trying to prove this wrong. Nobody on the left, well, I'll say I don't like, as you know, I don't like extreme all or nothing statements. There are some exceptions that have been made, I'll grant it. But 99.9% of the time, nobody on the left has given Donald Trump an iota of credit for anything. That is different. That is unprecedented. The level of Trump derangement, the level of hate from the left, the level of abject, vitriolic disdain and agenda-driven hate from the left is unprecedented against this president. No president has ever had to put up with this crap for as long sustained as he has. And yet, despite all that, he has done everything he's promised to do, with only minor exceptions. Promises made, promises kept. He said he does it, he would do it, and he usually does it. Or he's working towards it. He has accomplished a lot. It's never talked about in the mainstream media. It's never talked about really anywhere. He's gotten over 200 judges in place that are constitutionalists. He has passed tax reform. He has passed energy reform. He has made us energy independent. He has done the work in the Middle East. He's gotten Jerusalem, acknowledged Jerusalem as the capital by moving an embassy there, and peace plans with previously Israel-hating countries that has earned him 2 Nobel Peace Prize nominations and counting. He has gotten rid of foreign bad guys like the head of ISIS and the world's #1 terrorist, Soleimani, all without increasing us in wars, taking us further and further out of wars, endless wars, needless now wars. He's done everything he said he was going to do. He improved the economy. He took the slowest recovery in history, that was Obama, and made it the best economy the country had ever seen before coronavirus. And he could do it again. He could bring it all back again. He could do this undoable. He can do it twice if given the chance. We've gone over the stock market records, which is different from the economy, but even that. He has been treated without respect, the office and him or his family. And again, like Lincoln, Trump is the response to bad behavior. Trump was why was elected because of the Joe Bidens, because of the Barack Obamas, because of the Schumers and the Pelosi's and the Schiffs and the Nadlers. That is why he was elected and why he needs to stay in office, because of the corruption and the lies and the arrogance. What is it that the Democrat Party represents today, and why is it that they need to be utterly humiliated, soundly defeated in this election? As I've said many times, the mask is off. We now know what they stand for, and it's nothing new. They've always stood for it. They've always been against black people. They've always been for socialism. They've always been for lots of radical stuff. The difference is now they don't care who knows it. They don't care if we figured it out or not, because we figured it out. And some of them just couldn't wait. The young whippersnappers like AOC, they couldn't wait any longer. They were tired of this baby step, baby crawl towards socialism. They wanted it to go evolutionarily giant leaps forward. And so they pushed all the right buttons and convinced all the right people and created a movement within the Democrat Party that has radicalized it even further than it had ever been before. And now the inmates have taken over that institute, that nut house. It's always been a nut house, but it was controlled by people with, level heads. Not anymore. Democrat Party has never been more radical, never been more liberal and progressive than it is today. And Biden, who was just a puppet, who would be controlled by all the forces around him, because he's already gone back on every single thing he's ever said in this campaign, flipped and flopped and flipped and flopped on so many things that he used to believe in when he was more moderate. I won't say he was ever moderate. He's always been a lib. He's always been, out there, but he was not as bad as he's saying what's coming out of his mouth today. And the only explanation for that is he wants to be either part of the movement or he's being controlled. And will be controlled if he gets into the Oval Office, which means, folks, that if you are of a mind to vote for Joe Biden, and if you are, what the F is wrong with you? Just know your candidate is not going to be the one in control. You're voting for somebody who's not going to be the one who ultimately is in charge. Is that what you're voting for? Are you actually voting for Biden so other people can be in charge? If so, then you're not only disingenuous, but you're gaming the system. Is that what elections in America are supposed to be about? Well, who cares, right? Because that's what the Democrat Party is all about. It's about who cares. It's about theft. It's about socialism. It's about anti-Americanism. As I've said before, if you love your country, why would you want to fundamentally transform it, as Obama said? A little tweak here, a little fix there, a little problem over here, okay. But fundamentally transform it? I'm sorry. If you think your country's that bad, you do not love it. You cannot love it. You think it's so flawed. You think it's got systemic racism going all the way back to 1619? When it wasn't even a country, it was a British colony? Sorry. You don't love your flag if you kneel to it. You don't love your anthem if you want to add anthems to be played during or before your own. You don't love your military if you want to dismantle it, just defund it and neuter it. You don't love your Constitution if you constantly are doing things to work around it, to overcome it, to basically ignore it. And you don't love your government or your country if you want to turn it into a socialist government. Oh, but we want the Scandinavian model of socialism. No, you don't, because you don't understand the Scandinavian model of socialism, or you're just lying. The Scandinavian model of socialism isn't really socialism. It might have been for a while. It didn't work, so they changed it. It's a free market. Denmark has free markets. Did you know that? In Sweden, they don't penalize the rich. They don't have estate taxes. They don't have wealth taxes. They don't have death taxes. In fact, they try to get the rich to be as rich as possible. Then they take their money and redistribute it. They are capitalist in wealth creation and socialist in wealth redistribution. That's not pure socialism. They needed that capitalist element, that free market element, that wealth creation element in order to pull off the other stuff. And you still penalize everybody equally. Even the poor gets taxed in Sweden. Nobody is safe from the government mandates. Oh, but healthcare is so much better in, say, Cuba. Really? So what does the idiot Michael Moore do? He makes a movie called Sicko that shows this great place in Cuba where the hospitals are absolutely cutting edge, except for one problem. He only showed a hospital that can only be used and paid for or afforded by rich people, American tourists, and American visitors, and high-end muckety-mucks. But for all the other Cubanos that happen to live on the island, they have facilities for them that are third world, if not worse, where they don't even sterilize their equipment because they have no means to do so, and half the shelves are empty from pharmaceuticals. That's the actual reality. But their model is not Cuban, it's Venezuelan. This love affair of some people like Sean Penn and others with former president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, who basically turned the richest country in South America and one of the richest countries and oil-producing countries in the world into a third world country over his decade of control, as he slowly turned Venezuela into a true socialist, top-down, elitist at the top, with fascist-like groups of people enforcing the laws on behalf of the government in place into a socialist hellhole. And Maduro, who took over when Hugo Chavez died, has made it even worse. People are eating out of dumpsters. They have long lines around the corners, like old Soviet Union, just to get rationed food. And that is what happens when you have true socialism. Socialism is 0 for 24, folks. It's been tried 24 times since Marx, the first attempt, which I guess might have been the Soviet Union, and it's failed all 24 times. Every time, pure socialism. So countries that try it in the form of communism, which is a government, and socialism is the economic part of that government, have to use free markets and capitalism, like Sweden did, to survive. Without it, they're dead in the water. It is a failed system. It has never worked and never can work. And these asswipes in our country, like Bernie Sanders and others, who think that just because they're doing it, that somehow they're going to do it better. Well, that's what the other 24 thought too. They thought they were arrogant. They were arrogant enough to think that they could make it work too. Didn't work, did it? Didn't work for Greece. Didn't work for Spain. Didn't work for Central American countries. Didn't work for Scandinavian countries. Isn't working for Venezuela. Isn't working for Cuba. Wasn't working for Soviet Russia. Wasn't working for Communist China. Wasn't working for Cambodia, Vietnam. Isn't working for North Korea. Those people are suffering mightily as well. The haves and have-nots. There's not one case where it's worked even a little bit. And there are idiots in this country who are buying the socialist utopian dream. All because Bernie Sanders put one little word in front of the word socialist. Democratic socialist. Well, guess what? I don't like making comparisons to Hitler because, if everyone's Hitler, nobody's Hitler. But Hitler did the same thing. He put a little word in front of socialism and threw everybody off completely. He put the word nationalist in front of socialist. The German National Socialist Party, also known as the Nazi Party. It was still socialist. Didn't work, did it? It was a big hot mess, wasn't it? So you can put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. Socialism is the biggest pig that's ever been foisted on any society. And if we go down this road, folks, I'm telling you, there is no way back. The Democrat Party has bought all of it. They actually believe that they can make America, which was founded on anti-socialist, anti-Marxist principles, even before Marx ever wrote the Communist Manifesto pamphlet. America as it's founded, its constitution, its republic, its very culture, its very, its undergirding is as anti-socialist as there could possibly be. And that's what frustrates the left so much. Everything's in the way. Everything's an obstacle to their little utopia, your little dream. That's why they hate America, because it's in their way. What do they want? They want the dream of utopianism, which puts them in charge and the rest of us suffering equally miserably. This is their goal. And they're going to tear down, and are already telling you how they're going to tear down every institution of the country to do it. The Green New Deal, which destroy our energy independence and the energy industry, and try to replace it with something that doesn't work yet. It's a nice goal to achieve in the future, but it ain't there yet. Which would eliminate planes and glass buildings and try to convert all these houses. And you throw in that deal. You throw in the welfare that they're going to expand. You throw in the money given to illegal immigrants to make them into quasi-citizens or give them all the benefits, even though they're illegal by the virtue of coming here illegally. And you throw in all the giveaways of free health care and paying back, not letting anyone have to pay back all their student debt. You add all this stuff together, you're looking at $20 trillion. It would take 100 years at some ungodly rate to even put a dent into something like that. This is a country-destroying platform coming from the Democrats. They have no idea how to pay for any of this, and they don't care if it's paid for. All they want is the power back. That's all they want. If the country gets destroyed in the meantime, who cares? They don't like the country anyway. They can start from the ash heap and build their socialist utopia on top of the ash heap that was once America. They don't care. And they're literally telling you they don't care. They're going to lie about everything. Joe Biden is the most corrupt president since Hillary Clinton to try to run for president. His family has gotten uber rich on his salary. His son has gotten money from China. He's gotten from Ukraine without any experience. And the proof is coming out daily, more and more, that he has actually been involved in that. It was, I don't know anything about my son's business. Turns out he was actually not only involved in getting him set up, but he's actually probably taking a percentage for having set a thing up and allowing these countries access to him when he was vice president. If this were a Republican, the mainstream news would be on this like flies on crap 24/7. They're trying to ignore it. Why are they trying to ignore it? Because they're protecting their own. You do not have to be a rocket surgeon to see what's going on today. and how bad it is. You have to be willfully ignorant, willfully blind to have anything to do with the Democrat Party or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or any of these clowns. They are not only dangerous, they will bankrupt this country. They will tear down its very foundations just to get power back. Whatever you do, do not vote for these people. Donald Trump may be flawed, but he's successful and he's pro-American. And if you're not truly pro-American and you believe in all this socialist crap, which means you're not pro-American, because you cannot be both. I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again. You can be a pro-American or you can be pro-socialist. You cannot be both. There will never, ever, ever, ever be socialism in America because it won't be America anymore. It might be socialist something, but it can't be America. There's no way America can be socialist. By its very nature, it cannot be socialist. So once it becomes socialist, it's no longer America. One or the other. You choose. I hope you choose wisely. See you on the next one.